that I commend this bill to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call John Hayes.
Mr. Speaker, I think the comments of the last speaker and her predecessor, Dr. Norman, make it quite clear that this bill, comprising essentially one page with an operative paragraph, is an exercise in theatre, not substance. The last speaker did not issue one word about comment in the way of comment on the bill. And the point of the bill is this: it is brought to this House by that economic wizard who would have us engage in qualitative easing. Quantitative easing. Quantitative easing. And what a nonsense that is for this economy. When we have an interest rate of 2.6%, if we want to give this, if the Reserve Bank wants to kick the economy along, the government's got room to move. You would only bring in quantitative easing, as the Americans are doing, when your discount rate is zero, when your interest rate is zero. We're not in that space. So the idea that was brought to the Parliament by the leader of the Green Party on quantitative easing and on this bill are both thoroughly misguided. Mr. Speaker, we're already practising responsible investment criteria that this bill would like to see formalised. What this bill would do is give us more red tape, more bureaucracy, and it would stymie the job which is clearly spelt out for directors of companies and institutions. And we do not, as a party, believe at all in supporting or creating bureaucratic hurdles to investment, which this bill would do. Our responsible investment work is integrated into all investment activities. For example, understanding social and governance issues is a really important part of our risk assessment and is a due diligence that is required by directors and trustees on prospective individual investments. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we're inclined to think that responsible asset owners who exercise best practice portfolio management will already have a concern for environmental, social and government issues. As Nick Smith has pointed out earlier, Mr. Speaker, this government has conducted a huge number of things to support climate change. Contrary to what I heard the leader of the Green Party saying the other day, New Zealand has not left the Kyoto Protocol. We are still a full member. We are simply aligning ourselves with the developed economies in terms of pursuing future climate change measures that the whole world, all 193 countries of the globe will sign up to. Mr. Speaker, if we go to the purpose of this fund, we can see that its obligation or purpose is to meet future New Zealand superannuation payments. In fulfilling this purpose, the Board has to invest the fund in a manner consistent with two objectives. The first, Mr. Speaker, is prudent commercial management of the fund, and that is a primary investment because it influences the ability of the fund to fulfil its purpose, pay money to superannuitants. The second purpose that the directors have to follow, or the second objective for directors, is recognition that the fund is owned by the Crown, and the Crown bears the financial and reputational risks resulting from the activities of the fund. And this is a secondary objective related to the manner in which the first objective, paying money to superannuitants, is achieved. Our responsible investment work program is closely aligned to the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investment. This is an internationally accepted benchmark for how institutional investors should manage environmental, social and governance issues. Mr. Speaker, as I said at the outset, this is an exercise in green theatre. It is not an exercise in substance. It is not even a smart idea. Mr. Speaker, I intend personally to vote against this bill, along with colleagues here in the National Government. Thank you.
I call the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, members opposite might be sort of slightly surprised to